so good to see you and be with you. Yeah, I think that it was really sweet that I hadn't planned to teach. And then last night, as I was sitting in this nest in the living room, it felt really, I was missing you. And I was missing being together to mark moments that we choose to let be powerful to us. And so it felt really good to sort of spontaneously write to you and say, we choose the landmarks that matter to us, like the bits of simple magic that we notice around us that help us to know that we're headed home or we're headed closer to something important. And New Year's can be that landmark. It also can be a really annoying moment where we feel pressure to articulate something important. And so the invitation of today is for us to be with the power of exactly where we are. That we begin the morning and the moment and the year by bowing to the beauty that already is here with us and that has birthed us and that sustains us. So that from the very beginning we are honoring what is already present rather than reaching or grasping or over efforting, right? And just the right amount of effort is beautiful. And this practice is always about the titration of how we give the fullness of our heart and our attention with beautiful boundary, right? To honor that there is such a thing as enough. And that enough is not everything. It's something before we reach everything. Something before we reach all of our attention or all of our muscular effort or all of our sweat. It's somewhere between the beginning and all of it. And we play with where it is that it feels right for us to land and honor what is sacred. And we start by just noticing beauty, because there is such deep holiness in the awe and wonder that beauty allows us to arrive at and to witness. So just take a moment here, if it feels good, to let your eyes close. If you have something that smells nice, you might rub it on your hands or light your incense or whatever feels right. And just take a little bit to breathe in. You might warm your palms up and inhale. You might light something special and breathe in a little bit of the smoke or feel the heat with your hand. Something that calls you into how alive you are in this moment. And it doesn't have to be the most alive you've ever been, right? What a gift it is that we don't actually have to be at maximum intensity to be deeply awake and deeply caring. So we're going to give ourselves permission to be with the good that is already here today. As we begin this new year, there is already enough here. And that doesn't mean that we can't find clarity and find new capacity. It just means that we're not starting by already telling ourselves we need to try harder. Hine ma tov u'ma na'im sheretachim gam yachad. Behold how good this is, this moment, right in front of us. So you might reach your arms out and up, stretch long through your side body. Just feel into your ribs and your belly and your waist, a little bit of swaying side to side, breathing into your trunk as a tree and your roots grounding down from your tush into the earth underneath you. And when you've gotten a sense of both sides, you can gently draw your hands together and feel the power of drawing this right and left side together. Parts of you that might feel irreconcilable sometimes, and how they actually find a meeting point at the heart. Take a deep breath in, fill your lungs, fill your belly, fill your throat. And then exhale, open your mouth. Again, like that deep breath in. Stick out your tongue this time if it feels good. Good, one more time, deep breath in. Release, open your palms. Lift your hands up a little bit. Feel the way that the heart extends out through your arms and your fingertips. What sacredness are you holding that is already coursing through your veins here? Not something we need to create, but something that we want to call forth, call up, and call awake. And when you're ready, release your palms. We'll find our way to the mat if you're not there already. If you're not at a mat or you're at your parents' house or wherever you are, cool. You could do this on the couch, on your bed, in your bathtub, right? This practice was never, This practice was never designed to be done in a particular place or particular mood. In fact, the exact opposite. The less yoga-ish your setting looks, the more ready you are to practice yoga, okay? So when you're ready, find your way to hands and knees. And just wiggle your tush a little bit. Feel into what it's like to have a body today. Spread your fingers wide. Breathe into the back of your heart and your fingertips clawing the earth. You might add some movements forward, dropping the hips forward and then sinking your tush back. The body that you're in today has never been more ready to move and offer your presence. So there's no body that you could have today that would be better than this exact body. And you'll see I'm tucking my toes to get a little calf stretch as I stretch my tush back, so you can add that variation on if it feels right for you. All of this is a deep invitation, nothing less, nothing more. When you're ready, you'll find your way back to hands and knees. Lift your right arm up towards the sky, stretch from your left fingertips out through your right wrist. And then thread the needle back behind your left wrist. Right ear could come down to a pillow. Your left arm can reach forward as you pull your left hip back. Any variations, half bind, stretching the left leg. But let the variations come from deep within your belly outward, as opposed to, I'm going to arrange the periphery of my body and then try to get my breath to meet me there. From the inside out, will you find a strength and a sweetness that has actually been accompanying us all along? Good. When you're ready, slide your left hand back. Inhale, sweep your right arm up. Big breath. And exhale, right hand to the earth, round your back. You can always add on more movements if it feels good. Left arm up towards the sky. Big inhale. Exhale, thread the needle behind your right wrist. And when I get down here, I notice my shoulders are all crunched towards my neck, right? So find some space for your jaw and throat. And then from that place, you can extend out in any way that feels good. Where can I find pleasure in the practice of moving and breathing into my body and the beauty of my world around me. And part of breathing into the beauty of the world is breathing into the pain, right? Breathing into the intensity of the world that we live in, the truth of it. There's beauty in honesty and in making space for what is. Take as much time as you need. You're on your own schedule here. Your right hand will come back when you feel ready. Reach your left arm up and out. Big breath. Exhale, hand to the earth, round your back. Good. Walk your hands a little bit forward. Tuck your toes. Just sit back a little bit again for this modified child's pose. Wiggle your tush. Feel into your calves. Your head doesn't have to be on the earth here. And when you feel ready, come forward. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees as much as you like, and take a slow walk up to your hands. You can bend or keep the legs straight for more of a hamstring stretch. Feet hips width apart, take a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward. I like to take the feet even a little wider here. You can clasp opposite elbows. So this upper half, this is a half that often leads at the beginning of the year. This half of like, here I am presenting myself forward, the best version of myself, right? This is Mishigas. The best version of yourself is the version that comes from the earth up. So let your upper body soften and feel into the strength, the exhaustion, the curiosity of your lower body here. You can bend and straighten your legs. You can rock a little forward into the toes. Theodore is going to eat the plants as per usual. Maybe a little sway side to side here. You're feeling into the power and the consistency of the support of your lower half. And then as slow as you can, ground through the ball of your foot and the heel. Bend your knees, round up. So from the earth up, my spine unfurls, my heart lifts, my arms reach up. Take a big breath. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up, gaze up, feel your feet ground onto the earth. Exhale, fold forward, slow with your breath. Inhale, step your right foot back, lengthen your spine. Take your time. Exhale, left foot back, high plank, press the earth away. Take a big breath in. I had a dream last night that somebody demanded plank pose, which sounds bananas. Exhale, drop your knees, lower all the way down to the earth. Inhale, cobra, stretch your toes back, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, lower, tuck your toes, that modified child's pose, stretching into the calves. Inhale, find tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog, tush up. Right leg up and back into the sky, press into your hands. Exhale, step your right foot forward, low lunge, drop your left knee down, sweep your arms up. Take your right fingertips, wrap them around your left wrist if it feels good. Lengthen up through your side body. And then just the gentlest bend to the right. So you're leaning towards your front leg, that side, but you're in the lateral plane. So you're lifting your ribs and you're moving up and over to the side, like over a big beach ball. Gently round forward, hands come to frame your front foot, half splits, shift your weight back, straighten your right leg. Yep, tenting the fingers can be really nice to find some length in the spine. Big breath in. And a full exhale out. Come forward, rebend your right knee, tuck your back toes, high lunge, lift your back knee, sweep your arms up, big breath. Exhale, arms back by your sides, push off your back foot, warrior three. Keep your front knee as bent as feels right. If you like, you can play with straightening, heart reaching forward. Your breath has always been here to keep you company. Good, chair pose. Left foot meets the right. Tush back. Arms reach up. Cactus your elbows. Sink a little deeper. Inhale all the way up to standing. Reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, step your left foot back. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, right foot back. High plank. Spread your fingers wide. Heart open. Big inhale. Exhale, knees down. Bend your elbows. Work all the way down. Inhale, cobra pose. Heart draws forward. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes. High heel. Modified child's pose. Inhale up to tabletop. Lift your hips, downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, stretch your left leg up and back into the sky. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Drop your right knee down. Moving with your breath, your speed. Arms up, big breath. Soften your shoulders on your exhale. This time, left fingertips around the right wrist. Lengthen up through your side body. And then just a gentle bend up and over to the left. As you pull your left bum cheek back a bit. Just breathing into these intercostal spaces between the ribs. Making some space to ventilate, especially for the moments where it feels hard to breathe. We might like to have practiced finding a little bit more room. Around, forward, hands come to frame your left foot, straighten your left leg, half splits. Shoulders roll back. Anytime you feel yourself tightening or gripping, and exhale out through your mouth, just to remind your own system that you have the capacity to soften, even in the midst of intensity or effort. Slowly rebend your front knee, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. Right thigh hugs towards center, and then reach your arms up. Feel the power in your legs. Take a big breath in. Exhale slowly, heart leads, arms back. Bend your front leg, warrior three. Straight or bent standing leg. Less of a squeeze, more of a breath here. It's dynamic even as you're holding. Chair pose, right foot meets the left, arms up. Hands swim to your lower back this time. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, open your chest, lift your heart. Exhale, fold, walk your feet out a little wider. Make some space. Hands lift up and over your head. What is such a gift about this asana practice is that it is so deeply revealing of where we are holding tightly. You all know that I took the month of November off to breathe and do magic and rest in the mountains. And now, as we're doing this practice, I'm realizing that this is the first time that my hands have been able to be interlaced without a strap between in a year. And without any attachment to performing a particular shape, Malasana, when you're ready, release, toes out, let your tush sink down, knees stack over the toes. It's a gift just to be able to see, oh, how interesting to be alive in this body that has rested and to have some space. With no judgment at all, I can still celebrate what it's like to feel like I have some room for myself. So just check it out. What in your body is the cue? Maybe there's a cue that you've turned inward in a way that has turned some of the aliveness off. Or maybe there's a cue that you've turned inward in such a way that has brightened and enlivened your presence in your own body. Both are important data, right? And we're learning to listen to the language our body speaks. Crow pose, if it calls to you here, If not, stay right where you are or roll up onto the balls of your feet. Stretch your arms up past your ears. Soft, deep breaths from your pelvic floor. Feel the power underneath you, expanding up, swelling into your heart. Yeah. Good. Take a deep inhale. Stick out your tongue. Exhale. Forward fold when you're ready. Halfway lift. Deep breath in. High plank position. Step or hop back. Slow and steady. Full inhale. Lower however you like. Knees down or chaturanga. Choose your own adventure here. Cobra or upward facing dog. Good. Downward facing dog. Stretch your left leg up and back. Big breath in. Step your left foot forward. Warrior one. Inhale to rise up. Palms together above you. If it feels good for your shoulders, you could bend your elbows. Hands come to cradle the back of your head. And your head just softens back into your forearms. Find the power of your pelvic floor and your low belly just to support you here. Reach your arms up, big breath in. Warrior two, open it out to the side. Soft jaw, we're gonna flow. Flip your palms. Inhale, exalted warrior. Gently slide up. Exhale, extended side angle, reach long. Feeling into your full capacity here. Again, like that. Inhale, exalted warrior. Add on anything that feels right. Extended side angle. Inhale, exalted warrior. Straighten your left leg. Triangle pose. Reach long. Gentle bend in the left knee. Heart line open. Fingertip to fingertip. Can you feel the support? Maybe it's a hand of someone that you love or an ancestor, a spirit right behind you that can help your neck soften. And you can actually create that feeling with your own hand. Your hand is your ancestor's hand, right? We are forever held here. Bend your left knee, sweep your right arm past your right ear, extended side angle. Good, exalted warrior one more time, lift it up. And we're gonna take flight to half moon. Step onto your left foot, grab your block or your VHS tape, whatever you got, and launch forward. Again, the ancestor behind you that lets you lean your heart and head back a little bit. Space to be with the beauty that is right here in your wobbly and powerful body and bones. Good, y'all. Step all the way back to warrior two. Take your time. Straighten your left leg, pivot to the side, toes in, heels out, hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your heart. Broaden through your shoulders and chest. Oh, exhale, fold forward. Any variation you like. You could take headstand here. You could loop your big toes with peace sign fingers. Wiggle your tush a little bit, make some space in your side waist. And folding forward when it's time. Again, we're breathing into the power and the fortitude of the lower half of the body. So that the upper half, where lots of extending out and up and sharing with others, so beautiful and important, happens, so that that is deeply resourced by the earth and your sense of home and your sense of nourishment and support that comes from underneath. That sense of nourishment also comes from the exploration of pleasure, sexual pleasure, emotional pleasure, physical pleasure, what it's like to feel good, to take a deep stretch when you first wake up in the morning. These moments that we choose to feel are really radical. Gently walk around to the top of your mat. You're gonna walk your left foot out to the left. Drop your right knee to the earth. You can pad. I've got like 12 blankets underneath me. It feels nice. We're coming down to lizard pose. So many ways to do this shape, right? You could stay up on your hands. Breathe into the space between the bottom of your ribs and your hip flexor. You might like to walk a little bit over to the right and come down onto your forearms. But just being gentle, being honest with what your body is actually calling for, which might, as always, be very different from what your head has imagined. Slow, deep breaths from the earth up. And if you walked over to the right, we're just going to walk over to the left hand to your left knee to look up and over your shoulder. You might like to add on, oof, the foot's back there somewhere, a bind, left hand to your right toes. And just a gentle kick of your foot into your hand. Really important to pay close attention to the edge between intensity and pain, right? We welcome intensity in all of its forms, and we set really clear boundaries around pain because that doesn't help us grow or learn. It's just as important to know when we're not learning anymore as it is to find ways to grow. All right, you're gonna walk your left foot back in between your hands, and again, half split, straighten your left leg. Point and flex your left foot a couple of times. Just feeling into the left shin stretching and the left calf. Good, y'all. Take your time. You might stay right here, long spine. You might sit all the way back onto your right heel with your right bum cheek. Or if it calls to you, you could slowly start to slide your left heel forward. And you'll see that I've got a block underneath my pelvic floor. That's to lift me, but it's also to give me a sense of that space. We don't always get a lot of feedback right there, especially during our regular days if we're not in a sexual space. But this is actually a place, yes, it is a sexual space, and it is also a deeply, deeply rooting place. Every part of our body can be for more than one thing. And what a gift it is to meet the pelvic floor as the root of the tree that allows you to stand steady in your awe and wonder. So even if you don't have something underneath there, feel into the air passing right along the web of your pelvic floor, that netting wide but very strong, holding all of your organs, all of your fluid, all of your power with this stretchy, open web of capacity and connection. Slow, purposeful breaths into your root. This root space is so deeply complex. When I went away on retreat, I had all of these lofty goals of like working my way up through the chakras, right, through the energy centers. But it just turned out that the whole journey was the root, right? Because in the end, it actually, there's a lot happening there. And when we find complexity and intensity, we do a special kind of magic when we honor it and don't ask it to be processed more quickly. When we actually give ourselves the time to seep deeply in. breath in. Open your mouth if it feels good. Exhale out. Good. The exit, a very purposeful and slow journey of paying attention, right? It could be to roll over to the side. It could be to find your abdominal power and hug your feet towards each other as you slowly scoop your left heel back in. Take your time. Yep, that's it. Rebend your left knee. Move the block out of the way. Tuck your back toes. Reach your heart forward. And we're stepping to standing splits. Hands come wide on the mat. Right toes reach up towards the sky. You could tense your fingers on the earth. You could widen your right hand a little bit, bend your right knee, and reach up left hand to right toes, squeezing the right heel in towards your tush as your knee unfurls up towards the sky. Long through your outer left leg to balance this stretch. Good, y'all. Release your right foot, step your right foot all the way back. Side plank, outer edge of the right foot. You could turn your left foot to the left and keep your left foot up, or step your left foot back. Wobble and wiggle. Find your way into your expression. And maybe wild thing, ball of the left foot steps behind you. Peel open with your heart. Good. Hands and feet to the earth. High plank. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Big breath in. Full breath out. Let it go. Stretch your right leg up and back into the sky. Ground into your palms. Step your right foot forward. Warrior one. Deep bend in the front knee. And rise up. Soft jaw. Soft shoulders. If it feels right, palms together above you. Maybe bending your elbows for some support. Your head resting. Yeah, you could also interlace your fingers behind your head. It's a beautiful variation. Eyes closed for a moment. Feel into the power of your lower body and the spaciousness that offers your upper back. Arms up to the sky when you're ready. Inhale. Warrior two, open out to the side. Flow with your rhythm here. Flip your palms. Inhale, exalted warrior. Swimming through the ocean here. Extended side angle. Exhale. Inhale, exalted warrior. Deep, full breath. Exhale, extended side angle. One more time, exalted warrior. Good, y'all. Extended side angle. Reach long. Exalted warrior. Lift up. Straighten your right leg. And a slow reach for triangle pose. Spread your fingers. Spread your toes. Right hand down. Left arm up. Find something sturdy under your right hand. Your shin or a block. And feel how having that support can let you unfurl and open up through your left fingertips. Where is there pleasure living in your body right now? And what's your prayer to welcome it? Good. Bend your right knee, extended side angle. Left arm circles past your left ear. Inhale, exalted warrior, lift up. Slowly to half moon, step onto your right foot. You can use your block here as you launch. Heart open, head leaning back a little bit. The tendency when we're wobbly is to curl in and tense, right? So what's it like to encounter wobble and actually expand? Deep breath. Warrior two, slowly step back. Straighten your right leg. Walk your feet in for goddess pose. Toes out, heels in. Cactus your elbows. Again, really feeling the air coming up to your pelvic floor. You could take some little pulses here. You could soften deep into the shape and move a little side to side. Good, y'all straighten your arms and legs, lift up. Warrior two to the front. Flip your palms, exalted warrior. And windmill all the way down to lizard pose. Walk your right foot out to the right. Scoot your left toes back. Drop your left knee down to the earth. Find some length between the bottom of your left rib cage and the top of your left hip. You could stay right here. You could walk over to the left a little bit. And keep just gently pulling your right hip back here. Trust your rhythm. You can stay here as long as you like. When you're ready, your right hand to your right knee or hip and twisting to the right a bit. When you're listening to your breath, there's no hurry and there's also no hesitancy necessarily, right? You're just moving at your own pace. If a bind would feel good, you can reach back with your right hand for your left foot. But deep permission to let your two sides and your different parts be needing radically different things. When your body tells you it's time, walk your right foot in between your hands, half split, stretch your right leg long. You could stay here, you could sit all the way back on your left heel. You could send your right heel forward with a pillow or a rolled up blanket right at your pelvic floor. Closing your eyes if that feels good for your system, and just letting your mind's eye travel to your pelvic floor, to the web of connective tissue that is spacious and flexible and also has deep integrity here. To hold you as you're supported and rooted by gravity. soft jaw, soft teeth and ears. Just let your face be as relaxed as it can be. And when you're ready, keeping that sense of softness above your shoulders, you can gently magnetize your feet towards each other as your right hip and right foot slowly start to scoot back. You might take the mat with you, it's A-okay. You're gonna slowly rebend your right knee. Get your hands underneath you for support. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Your heart's reaching forward. Standing splits. The transition, pushing down to rise up. Yeah, take your feet nice and wide for support. Let your shoulders relax. And maybe widen your left hand. Reach up for a bind. Right hand to left foot. Only if it sparks some curiosity in you. Good. When you're ready, release the bind. Stretch your left toes up. Step your left foot all the way back. Left hand comes out to the left. Outer edge of the left foot. You can step your right foot halfway down the mat or all the way back for side plank. Your bones are holding you here. Good. Right hand to the earth. Lower all the way down to your belly, however you want to get there. Sphinx pose. Propping up on your forearms. You can tuck your toes, move your knees and thighs back a bit. Wiggle your tush. And then untuck your toes. Yeah. Elbows stacked under the shoulders so you don't have to do a lot of work. And you can just really gently magnetize your hands in towards your hips. If it feels good, chin melts towards your chest. And a gentle roll of your head side to side. Stay right here, or if locust or bow pose calls to you, you can come down to rest. And then take your time to reach your arms back or clasp your feet with your hands and inhale to slowly rise up. No hurry. Just a gentle initiation of your heart, lifting and opening and seeing how the rest of the body comes with you. Eventually, child's pose. No hurry to get there. And if it feels good, you can turn your palms to face up. Yeah. Just gently sliding your shoulders down your back. Hands turn down towards the earth. Rise up to downward facing dog whenever you're ready. You're going to sweep the left leg up and back into the sky, and then bring your left shin forward across the top of the mat. And your hands by your sides, lift through your heart, lift through your torso. You could stay here as long as you like. And then when you're ready, you can gently sort of snuggle your right leg back. Grab a pillow if you've got it, or a friend, whatever's available, and you can gently drape forward. If you feel like there's a lot of weight in your upper body and on your front knee, send some energy back through your back leg. Yeah. Giving yourself the gift of yield is really powerful. So finding a soft thing to rest your head or your heart or your hands on. Sometimes we need something that's super solid and unyielding to feel steady, right? And we can get so used to that texture that we forget what softness can offer us. So it's powerful after a practice of rooting into the strong, steady earth to find something soft and to give ourselves the space. To be with the yield that comes from not efforting and not trying to find the most intense variation of what is possible for us, but instead the most nurturing. Take as much time as feels right here. You can stay for as long as you like. If your body's calling for it, you can walk your hands in to find your heart lifting for a moment. Yeah, and then you'll just gently drop onto your left tush, sweep your right leg around, and step your right foot over your left thigh for a seated twist. Right foot comes down to the earth. Like the heel. Right hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your left arm up, find length in your spine. And then you can hook your elbow or hug your knee in as you spout your heart to the right.
Just check out if your neck is trying to be the guide. See if you can soften it a little bit. The twist actually starts at the root, and you lengthen and swirl open from there. So feel into your pelvic floor on the earth. Feel how it starts there. Another big breath in and out. And then we'll come back around to the left. Very fancy. You're just going to bring your hands back on the left side. Stretch your legs straight. Spiral all the way around. Keep coming around. Keep coming around. Bend your knees. And you're going to lower down into a twist on the other side. Keep going. Keep going. Yep. There you go. So your left foot is outside your right thigh. And if that didn't happen, no problem. Right? Step your left foot over your right thigh. Wiggle your tush around a little bit. Left hand back behind you. Inhale, reach your right arm up from the root up through your fingertips. And then the spiral. See it happen from the root up. There's a dynamic, alive, pulsing coil at the center channel of you. And it's slowly spiraling open as you twist. Big breath in, full breath out. Back through center. Got all that space in your side body, and you're going to swing your left leg back for half fidget. If you want to, you can sweep the leg up and reset it, or just slide your right knee over to the right a little bit. Maybe a pillow underneath your right bum cheek. Make some space here, find some length. And then maybe folding forward while you extend back through your left leg. And don't be afraid to fold up your pillow or your blanket and lift the support up to you from the earth. Find our way to the earth. It's often a part of the asana practice where we're finding our way into the depths. Once the intensity settles and the buzz is softened by releasing sweat and breath through the active vinyasa practice, the quiet can come, and that's a different kind of intensity. just offer yourself a little bit of compassion and curiosity in honoring here what depths you've dove into this year, whether on purpose or because you were, taken there. Both are intense and powerful, and we don't have to dwell on them or want them to be repeated to honor them and to name to ourselves where it is that we've traveled. We're here to witness each other in the marking of the signposts on our path towards knowing ourselves. New Year's may be that for you, or the signposts may look really different. And if you like, you could play with an uplifted variation here, walking your hands in, feeling your heart lift from your pubic bone to your belly button to your sternum to your forehead. And your choice, you could sweep the right leg up and back, or if you'd like to join me, we missed wild thing on the left side, so you could lift up, roll to the outer blade of the left foot, step your right foot back and crack the heart open. If you don't need it, just sweep the right leg up and back, shake it out. And we're gonna meet together in downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees. You can step or hop. Drop your tush to the earth and lie all the way back. Setting up for a final heart opener here. It could be a block behind your heart, long ways, which sounds really delicious to me today. Maybe with butterfly legs and arms cactus open. If bridge or wheel calls to you, mazel tov, this is perfect. Give yourself the space to let those things unfold. And to let yourself be moved by what you discover there. This is not exactly the same. To be moved by what we discover there is not exactly the same as I want to feel open, so I will feel open, right? This is a particular type of way of setting intentions that we're taught, that we manifest things. This is powerful. We can call things in, and there might be something important about us setting the type of intentions and calling in the type of prayers that name explicitly, I choose to stay awake and alive as I encounter the lessons that are meant for me. Which may at times be opening, right? In a heart opener. But if we go into it knowing that that is the only way that we'll feel like we've done it right, then we are limiting our capacity to meet what is actually happening with space, limiting what we can breathe in. So we call on our innate knowing of our own bravery together, may I be moved in the ways that I'm meant to be. May I be present and resourced enough to be moved. Big breath in. Then an exhale to let the grief of the expectations go. It may take a million exhales to release what we've been told to want and find our way into what is. And we're here to walk that together. You could stay here, you could come down onto your back and take happy baby pose. A little rock side to side. We're going to take the next 3 minutes to do any final movements that feel right. So you could do a final forward fold or headstand or twist on your back. Just 3 more minutes. To give yourself space for innate exploration. And when your body's ready for rest, I'll just encourage you to just make a little bit bigger of a deal of it than you usually do. So if you're willing to hop up and grab a couple of extra pillows or just a couple extra things to enhance your comfort, right? A few extra props or support, something underneath your legs, something underneath your spine and your head, maybe a blanket over you. Just things that maybe sometimes we don't pause to cultivate, the little extra bits of pleasure and support that actually make all of the difference. And as you soften into this resting place in Shavasana, noticing your relationship with gravity here, what it is that's anchoring you and supporting you, and helping your bones and body hug the earth. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niradhambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. We honor the wisdom of Lord Shiva, who helps us to know what is wisdom to integrate and hold on to, and what is ready to be released, what is ready to let fall off the vine and be taken by the earth to become new form. And as you're resting there, just like if we were in a room together, I'm going to offer my hands. And if I was in a room with you, I would ask you, is it okay to touch you? So here's a moment where you get to decide, do I want to be met by hands? If not, you can say no out loud. This is a beautiful blessing, a beautiful boundary, and I deeply honor it. And if that's so, these hands are not reaching to you. They are holding space without touching. And if your heart and body comes alive at the thought of being touched with this warming oil and with my heart moving through my hands, then you can say yes out loud, calling in the medicine that feels like it's yours. And you can welcome the feeling of hands resting gently on your shoulders. Feel the gravity of the palms that I offer and the point of contact between you and someone who really loves and cares for you. Hineni, here I am, and here we are, right in the place where we're meant to be together. And as you're ready, you can hug your arms and your knees in, squeeze into a tiny, sweet little package, and give yourself some touch. Take your time, rock a little side to side, massage your low back into the floor. And then rolling over onto one side, letting your body be soft. And your heart lead as you find your way up to a seat that feels like it is yours, resting on the earth. Each time that we are together, it is a gift
And I feel like I think that I remember it, but then I'm actually here. And I realize how much more potent it really is. What a gift it is for us to hold each other. So much has happened in the last few years, and we have been here together. And it feels right for us to be here today to honor this mossy rock as a signpost on our path together. It's certainly not the last rock we'll see, but it is a rock that tells us that we're on the path, and what a gift that is. So we've worked together a lot with the archetypes deck, and so I thought it would be nice for us to pull cards together today as the magic completion for this practice. If you have a deck there with you, feel free to grab it and shuffle it and take your time. Spontaneously last night, what came to me was a pull of 3 cards, one being the medicine for the year, the second one being the challenge or the lesson that is ready to be learned for the year, and the third one being the gift, like the special thing to help us navigate the challenge and the medicine. So if it's all right with you, I'll pull cards for all of us. Feel free to take it or leave it, right? If the medicine feels right to you, perfect. If not, you can say, great, Dani pulled cards for not me. I completely support what feels right in your bones. Yeah. So let your eyes close for a moment. Maybe just pausing to breathe and listen to this moment in time that is not a beginning or an ending, but also is both a beginning and an ending. The medicine is the challenge, is the gift. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll read to you the medicine, the threshold. And here we are again, reading Roman numerals together, which you well know is a journey for me. Okay, the medicine of the year. The threshold. We cross thresholds continuously and unconsciously. Doorways, gates, and entryways grace our path on a daily basis. When this card arises, it signifies that the precipice you stand upon is not your typical one. You have arrived at a threshold of initiation, here to usher you into a new reality. It requires you to leave behind the you that you thought was so well formed. A new frontier calls. Threshold initiation means a part of you will be lost in order to make space for what is next. A metaphorical death may occur and some may not recognize you. You may struggle to recognize yourself. This is the liminal realm. One step, dear friend. The one necessary step toward the future that calls you. When this energy is dark in us, when we resist the magic, it's refusal to grow, it's barriers that hold us back. And when it's light, it's growth and ease in the space between. So this is our medicine for the year, the threshold. These beautiful feet standing on the precipice of fire. This is what Shiva calls us into. Okay, so let's see. LXI. One of these days we're just going to have a tutorial on Roman numerals together. Okay, this is the challenge. It's the mask. One half of the card is dark and the other half is beautiful and bright and a rainbow. Okay, the mask. We often think of a mask as something that conceals our identity. Yet contemplate the possibility that the mask permits our true identity to be revealed. It allows. The mask gives voice to that which was previously rejected. When this card appears, enact the side of you that is seeking expression. yet was never given a role to play on the stage of your life. Speak with this other's voice, embody their limbs. You are taking part in the ritual of expanding the self. There may be mischief and deception, and others may be trying on new masks too. No one is sure who is who. It's likely you've become attached to a single mask that needs to fall into this perception bending time. Trust it. So when this energy is dark, we further conceal what has been shameful or rejected in the past. We all know this work if we've done any trauma work, and I know we all have. When it's light, we reveal what has been suppressed and embrace. What a beautiful challenge and also answer, right? The invitation of being with the parts of ourselves that have been fearful to come forward. And the threshold invites us into the fire that comes up when we consider the possibility of revealing parts of ourselves that we have hidden in the past. Okay, so the gift, what helps us here? Beep boop. Starts with an L, which means something. Okay, here we go. The seed, this beautiful card. There's a seed at the center and then concentric circles from it. Beginnings come in many forms. They are not always a beautiful seed placed intentionally in nourishing soil. Truth. Origin stories, like any birth story, are complex, surprising, multi-layered, and usually reveal a central detail or image that represents the fully formed being. Simply stated, the end is present in the beginning. Didn't we just say that? Or the entire oak tree resides within the acorn. Whether you follow this imaginal theory or not, know that when this card appears, there is potent generative energy around you. It stirs your insides and usually can result in an antsy, impatient feeling. We all know that feeling. Pay particular attention to what agitates you, as it is sure of a sign of growth to come. You are bumping up against a growth edge. It is from the grit that the pearl eventually comes to be. So when dark, we feel like things are festering, we're stewing, things are very dormant. And when this energy is life, we feel fertile, generative, we're germinating and building. One of the alchemist's favorite images was the pearl. The irritant over time becomes the treasure. I think this makes a lot of sense that the mask and the seed go together, right? These parts that we've thought of as things that would unhinge us if we allowed them to breathe and come forward actually become the very things that catalyze us into integration of the true and full self, and the bravery that it takes to stand on the threshold of choosing to reveal and be deeply intimate with the parts of us that have had a lot of good data to stay hidden in the past. And perhaps the invitation of this year is for us to make space to gather some new data so that we might allow the most sense-based, pleasure-based, revolutionary parts of ourselves to rise up and forward, to encounter the discomfort and disquiet that comes with letting something that has been hidden come up into the light, and integrating darkness into light so that we're not choosing one or the other ever, but we are welcoming them into dancing together. This is for sure the work that I have been doing on retreat and beyond. And I hope that this speaks to some part of your heart or your being that feels like it is needing a little bit of affirmation that you are seen and you are held. I love you so much. What a gift it is to be together. My heart feels so full. Please write to me and let me know how you're doing, how this landed. I'm hoping that we'll have more pop-up classes like this in the new year where We're moved to practice and I'm moved to teach, and we get to hop on together. I love you dearly. Happy New Year, y'all. This is not the only threshold that we'll walk through, but it is one, and we honor it deeply. I hold you with so much love, and I'll see you really soon. Sending you blessings. I love you all so much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, sweet ones.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love y'all.
Thank you, Dani. Love you.
Love you.
Thanks so much, Donnie. Mwah.
Thank you, lovies. So great to see you.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Love you, honey.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye, sweet ones.